Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy Crix209 back at you guys with another video, and today we are going to be doing a grappling tutorial. Now, I wanted to do a grappling tutorial to go over some of the intricacies of the grappling system because unfortunately in UFC 4 they don't have very many tutorials to really go in depth into what you're going to be seeing when you jumped into a peer-to-peer fight. So if you're going in to a quick fight or if you're going to jump into online world championships, some of the things that you're going to see in there are not covered in the tutorial system. So in this grappling tutorial, we are going to be going over the takedowns and the different kinds of takedowns, such as the driving takedowns and the double leg bail takedowns. We're going to be going over a little bit about the GA system and how it plays its own part into being able to transition on the ground. We're going to be going over how stamina usage plays a part in grappling transitions. And then finally, we're going to be going over some sweeps and how to execute them effectively. So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into the first topic, and that is the different kinds of takedowns. Now, the basic takedowns are the single leg takedown and the double leg takedown. Now, in order to do the single leg takedown, you're on PlayStation, you are going to hit L2 and square. On Xbox, it is LT and X, and this is the animation that you're going to get when you shoot for the single leg. He picks up one leg and he shoots down for the takedown right there. Now, the next one is the double leg. So it's going to be the same input in terms of L2, but it's going to be a different button. It's going to be L2 and triangle on PlayStation, and L and LT and Y if you're on Xbox, and it is going to give you this animation right here. He grabs the double leg, takes him down. So the next ones that we are going to cover are the tricky ones, and they are the driving takedowns. Now, driving takedowns, if you guys are newer to the game, happen when your opponent late denies a takedown and it throws you into what's called the drive. Now, in order to execute a driving takedown, you're going to need to either go up or down, and it'll push you. I'm going to show you the animations here in a second. And in order for your opponent to block them, they're going to need to follow the same input on their left stick that you do. So they either need to go up if you're going up or down if you're going down. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and show you guys the driving takedown. So here we set up Tony Ferguson, and he blocks it, so a little early right there. So there is the up transition on the takedown. So that is up. Now we're standing in southpaw. Oh, kind of shot forward a little bit early right there. Didn't time it out well. So that is the up transition as well, just to show you guys a second time. And so now we're going to go for the down one. If Tony Ferguson would stand up right there, which he's not. There we go. Have to reset it up. And he denies it early. Tony Ferguson's takedown defense is on point right now. And that is the down transition right there. So those are the driving takedowns for the single leg. Now there is also driving takedowns for the double leg. And these are the animations that are going to be for them. So that is the down transition right there for the double leg driving takedown. So we're going to circle back around this way. And that is the up transition. Actually, that's the up transition, but depending on the camera angle, that's going to give you different animations. So you really want to get used to the way that the animations are playing out. So that's the down animation right there. So that's going to throw, one's going to throw you in side control and the other one is going to throw you in half guard. But be aware that when you are doing these takedowns, like I said, the camera angle and yeah, the camera angle is really going to affect what way you're going to, it's going to affect what way you're going to want to try to deny it. It's a little tricky, so you really got to be wise to the animation that's being played out in order to get the blocks. And the double leg ones are very, very tricky to block right now. They're probably the hardest driving takedowns to block because the camera angles are kind of, I would say, flunky right now, and they're difficult to read. So just be on your toes, because a lot of people are double leg driving takedown, doing a lot of double leg driving takedowns and stuff like that. So the next thing we're going to go into is the double leg bails. So I see people struggle with this a lot, and I get questions on it a lot. So the double leg bail, for those of you guys that are newer to the game, is when your opponent shoots for a double leg and they bail. And it's going to look like this right here. And they immediately put you in the over-under. Now here it's a very dominant position. It's supposed to be a very dominant position for the fighter that does double leg bail, because I can push you and you cannot push me back. I'm basically controlling you here in this clinch because I am the dom fighter, because I entered into the double leg bail. And I can trip you from right here. I can throw you. I got all kinds of different options. I can pull guard even if your fighters have pull guard, which we'll cover in another video. But that is the double leg bail. Now, in order to stop takedowns out of this, you are going to want to hold L2 and R2. It's the same thing. You're, as a regular takedown denial, you're going to want to hold L2 and R2, and it's going to stop the takedowns from happening. Or if you want to get tricky with it and be a little more advanced, you can hit a trip on here of your own. So we're going to get in here and I'll show you guys the animation for the trip. So here with Tony Ferguson, we're going to hit R1 in circle if you are on PlayStation, or RB, and I believe it is B on Xbox, and it'll give you that trip animation right there. Now the tricky part about that trip is if your fighter, if you are able to time it fast enough off that double leg bail, as the sub fighter, you're going to take precedent over the dom fighter. So if somebody shoots in for a takedown, a double leg bail, like say this, I'm shooting in, and if my opponent, Tony Ferguson, was to input that trip, he's going to get the takedown every single time. So what this is going to force your opponent to do is, as soon as they get into the double leg bail, it's going to force your opponent to automatically try to deny a takedown. And what that does is it switches the roles. So if I'm Tony Ferguson and I go for the trip and my opponent blocks it, now I'm the dom fighter in the over-under and he's the sub fighter, and then you can just easily just back out like that, and now you're back to being really where you want to be at, or being able to roam around freely. So with that being said, now that we covered over the takedowns, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit about the GA system. Now the GA system is the little meter at the top. You know, when you're punching, you've probably noticed it. It'll go red or it'll go blue depending on who's punching and in what scenario is going on. Now the GA system is very, very important in UFC 4-4 grappling because it can help you set up faster transitions. That's really what it's there to do. It's there to show you who has the grappling advantage, so you can time out your transitions quicker, or you can try to get in a better spot, or even try to set up a sweep. So we're going to show you what I'm talking about here. So if you see here, we're punching. We're going to gain all this GA right there with Kamaru Usman, and our transition is going to be faster than what it normally is. Now this plays a very big part in the ground game, because when you start faking, if your opponent denies a fake, it'll automatically give you a good amount of GA, and then if you include punches right after your fake, then you're going to get almost max GA, and it's going to make your transitions a whole lot faster than they would be normally. So this also works on the ground if you are the sub fighter. If you are elbowing and you fake, like if you're faking the get up here and your opponent bites on it, it's going to give you a fair share of GA. And then if you include punches on there, then it's going to give you almost max GA, and you're going to be able to hit a sweep like this right here, and bam, you're in dominant position, and now your opponent has to be worried about what you're going to do on top instead of being in a control position here. So that's a little bit about the GA system. So the next one that we're going to go into is the stamina usage on the ground. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw Tony Ferguson into full guard here. Now, the stamina plays a big part in can play a big part in the transition system if you are not being effective with it. So as you can see, both of our staminas are at full capacity here, but we're going to go ahead and input. Actually, we're not. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drain our stamina with Kamaru Usman here. And as you can see, we're at a huge disadvantage here. Now we're going to switch over to Tony Ferguson, and you're going to see that I have these transitions. If I hit R1, I can go to half guard or I can go to full guard. And you can see the second his stamina comes back up, those transitions go away. Now, this is why the stamina plays a big part, because if you are inefficient with your stamina here on the ground, your opponent is going to get free transitions. So once again, we input it with Kamaru Usman, huge stamina disadvantage, and now we're going to be able to hit half guard. And you cannot block that as the sub fighter. You can't. So be aware of how much stamina you're using on the ground, because this can be especially hard if you're fighting on online ranked, where you cannot see your opponent's you can't see your opponent's. Well, you're not really paying too much attention to your opponent's stamina. You're just really worried about looking at that GA system. You want to be paying attention to your opponent's stamina as well as your own. You do not want to be consuming too much stamina, because even if I'm Tony Ferguson here, I'm hitting to the body, I'm hitting to the body, I'm hitting to the body. We're going to switch over to Kamaru Usman just to show you guys what happens when you're inefficient with your stamina on top. Kamaru Usman's going to be getting the transitions as well, and he can roll you straight into your half guard here, and the stamina disadvantage is still there, so he can automatically posture up or go into top mount, into side control, whatever he really chooses to do. So you have to be aware of the stamina. You have to be aware of the stamina for both fighters, whether you're the sub or the dom in that situation. So the final thing that we are going to be going over is the sweeps on the ground. Now, these ones are kind of tricky. I am going to go a little bit over the sweeps if you miss strikes on the ground, but we're going to go over the ones from the normal positions, not postured up at all. So as you can see here with Tony Ferguson, so if as you can see, we have the normal get-ups here. We have the get-up if we go up, we have the get-up if we go left, and we have the get-up if we go down, and of course we have his rubber guard. So if I hit R1, or L1, I'm sorry, if I hit L1, you see that I either can go to backside, I can go to back sitting, or I can go to half guard. Now, the trick is, if you start inputting the RT left right there, which is the get up, and I hold L1, once the process has already begun, I'm going to get a sweep into half guard. So I'll show you guys here, and then we'll go over it one more time so that way you guys can see what I'm doing. So see, if I hold L1 mid transition, it's going to give me the half guard sweep, and I roll Kamaru Usman into his half guard. So we're gonna go over it again, but we'll go over it again in kind of a slower motion. So as you guys can see, I'm inputting left right there, and I'm canceling right there. So you're gonna want to start inputting the transition to the left, and midway you're gonna hold L1. If you're on PlayStation, if you're on Xbox, it'll be LB, and it's gonna give you that half guard sweep right there. And this is one that's utilized by every single elite player in the game does this. And what you'll see them do is they build up their GA, they fake a lot, and then they immediately go to the left and input that half guard sweep. So that's a very, very good sweep to be able to hit. Now the next sweep we're going to go over is one that I've kind of already shown you guys, but we're going to go over it again. We're going to be efficient with our stamina right here with Tony Ferguson, because a lot of people like to go crazy in half guard with strikes, and most of the time they will drain out their stamina. And if I'm Kamaru here, I wait and I try to block, and then I immediately sweep him into half guard here, and then I try to go into top mount or top control right away, or side control, I'm sorry, right away. So that is a very good sweep as well. We're going to try to go over a little bit of the sweeps from the posture up, but it's a little bit harder because the ground and pound is really hard to input into the strike recording here in practice mode. But if we'll touch base on it just a little bit. So if I'm Kamaru Usman and I'm raining down strikes here, it gives you two options here on the ground to avoid strikes, right? So if I'm Tony Ferguson, I can either post by holding L1 or LB if you are on Xbox, and clicking my right stick, either right or left, to stop hooks. So these posts right here will stop incoming hooks. And if you want to slip straight strikes, you're going to just move your right stick either left or right. Now, if you're able to hit these in a timely manner, you will get either a Kimura roll or you will get a sweep into top mount. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show that because, like I said, grappling, ground and pound is hard to implement on the strike recording system in practice mode, but definitely go and try these out in like quick fights or fights against your friends, just to get a good basic knowledge of what I'm talking about. So went ahead and covered most of the sweeps here. So like I said, if you're able to sweep a straight strike, you're going to get a sweep to full mount. If you're able to Kimura, you're going to roll into half guard. So, all right, guys, those are some of the things that I feel you guys need to know as you guys jump into online world championships or into league play or into quick fights or anything like that. If you're playing peer-to-peer at all, drop a comment in the comment section if this video helped you guys out, or if you guys need me to go a little bit more in depth onto something that I showed you guys in this video. Let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. We are on our way to 800 subs. We hit 700 yesterday, so we're getting closer to our goal, which is 1K subs. So if you guys are newer to the channel and you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, thank you guys for stopping by to the video, and I'll see you guys later.